I couldn't sleep, so now I thought I would just get up and do a little coloring. I don't know about you guys, but I've been really worried about the situation and all of this evil stuff going on. And it just makes me really upset to think about all the evil things that are being done to innocent people and children. And it makes me very angry. So I haven't been making videos and I haven't been doing any kind of art lately. Just kind of thinking about it all. And so I couldn't sleep, so here I am. I guess I'm gonna try to color a new page for a little while. And anyway, I'll probably post this in the daytime because it's already 1 in the morning. Friday. But okay, I think I'm gonna do the background, this Prismacolor sand. I like this color and I use it in a lot of my drawings. I need something to go behind. I forgot I need to get some kind of a thing to go behind here because I like to put something behind the paper because it's a 1-page thingamajiggy. I'm tired, but I can't sleep, and isn't that the way it always is? See, it has a blank, which is nice, but now I have to find, I think I will use this. So in case I want to use markers, you know. A lot of these coloring books have that perforated edge, and it kind of is annoying because, see, look how the design, I'm gonna have to put some gloves on because my hands are so ugly. I can't stand looking at all the I think I cut myself when I was cutting some vegetables or an onion, or I can't remember. I know I cut myself when I was cutting an onion today, but I think that one was, I'm not sure what that was, but I don't like looking at them. So I'll put some, I miraculously don't have eczema on my hands, but I have cuts, so what can you do? Anyways, I was going to tell you, I guess you can see it. Let me see if you can see the whole thing. It says, "Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand." And that's from, I don't know if you can see it, Isaiah 41:10. And this book is, I know the plans I have for you. I think I made some videos before with this one and posted them, but oh, there's something I could use. Oh well. But it's made by Christian art publishers. And anyway, I've done a few pages in here already. I think I want to get back into doing my coloring books because it's kind of a mindless, like crocheting or knitting, and I'm not really great at those kinds of things. I wish I were, but if you have some kind of like busy work to keep your mind off things, you're concentrating on something that you already know how to do pretty well, and but you can also, you're concentrating enough so it takes your mind off of problems, and you're also expressing yourself creatively, and it really helps. It's therapeutic. Any kind of thing that you can do creatively that you enjoy. It's like therapy for us. I'm sorry I'm like not speaking very well because I'm tired, but I just wanted to make a video because I haven't made one in I think 2 weeks already. And it's stuff that's happening in my own personal life. I'm really worried about my future, and also what's happening in the world. So here I am, 1 in the morning, getting ready to color. Where should I start? I think I'm gonna make these flowers pink. I was thinking about red, but I don't know. I have pink right here. A couple of different pinks. I have a lot of different colored pencils from different sets, and they're all mismatched because I started a bunch of different projects, and then I didn't want to misplace my pencils that I was using on one project, coloring project. So then I I just have all these, containers full of colors that go to different coloring projects, which I think I have maybe 3 or 4 pages that I haven't finished, and it really bothers me when I don't finish something. I used to try to write down the colors that I was using, but I got lazy, because when you're actually coloring and you have the pencils in front of you, you're not really thinking. I mean, you just grab them, you're not really like carefully planning it. Sometimes I do, actually. I used to actually plan out, in my nicer coloring books, like my Marie Trolle. I only did 1 page in there, but life happens. My cat's still out here, and I'm in the kitchen, and there's these big, huge blinds that lead out to the porch, and he's constantly looking out there and making noises, and it's really irritating me. But see if I put him in his cage, then he'll sit there and meow. I was on Reddit, and somebody asked in like a, I think it was Ask Reddit group, and it was, what's the most effective thing that you found that helps you fall asleep or, go to sleep? And it was so funny because somebody said, well, it sure as hell isn't a cat. And it got like 500 likes. It was I just burst out laughing when I saw that, because it's just so true. I cannot sleep with that cat in there. I can for a short period of time, like if I'm taking a nap, but I don't get a good night's sleep. And he's not really the worst cat I've had to sleep with. I think it's just getting older, and my hormones and being neurodivergent plays a part. So I actually have to take a bunch of different sleeping supplements that are all natural, because I'm into natural as natural as I can get. Anyway, I hope you guys can see. I can't see. I'm just not the best video person anymore. I used to like really be careful, try to make everything really nice, make sure everything was in focus and have nice music, and now I just don't care anymore. Sad to say. It's probably not really exciting to watch me. Color. But I was trying to look into how I could do live videos, but just like everything else, costs money, because you have to subscribe to some service, and I just don't have the money. I don't have money for I don't have money for grocery shopping, let alone, I mean, like a lot of us people, we're all out here struggling. And I don't normally remember to ask everybody to like and subscribe, but if by chance, what's that noise? I'm getting kind of, hold on. I gotta figure out what this noise is. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. It's my cat. Little brat. I heard like a knocking noise, and sometimes he is sick. He gets sick, and I thought maybe he was throwing up. Sorry. I didn't want to say that, but when you have pets, or if you're a caregiver, or if you have children, you kind of learn to get over the squeamish. I'm just gonna do this little corner. Hopefully you guys can see it. I think you can. I've just been really down. Well, some days are better than others. I had some friends come visit on Monday, which was really nice. I haven't seen them in a long time. And they live in another town, a couple of hours away. But they had to come here for a particular reason, so they decided to contact me, and they had enough time to come visit for a little while. I don't have very many friends, and most of my friends they live in a different state or in a different town, you know, and I don't really have very many friends here because I moved away. I grew up in this town as a teenager, and then I moved away when I went to school, college, and then after that I got married, and we never came back here to live. So any friends that I had in high school, I have no idea where they are. They probably moved out of state, or a lot of people don't like Florida for a lot of reasons, which are understandable. And when you're poor, you get kind of trapped here because moving is so expensive. And over the years I've thought about moving to different states, but I just never did. And when you move here, you get used to the climate, so that when you think of, I visited other states in the wintertime, and I just really suffer because it's so cold. I get so cold. And I probably would get used to it, but I just don't like being cold. And now I can't even afford to move out of here if I wanted to. I think I was thinking of something I was going to talk about, but I forgot. I already forgot because I'm kind of tired. I'm really tired, actually. Kind of tired. Oh. My family, my mom, and myself and my younger brother moved here when we were teenagers. I was 16, I think. I was going into 10th grade anyways. And I just never really fit in. Never. I never really fit in anywhere. And I'm not sure if that would have been different if I lived somewhere else, because I only found out that I'm neurodivergent when I was 51, after my mom passed away. And so I don't think I've ever fit in anywhere. I tried sometimes, but a lot of times I just, I didn't get it. I didn't get why people liked certain things. I've never really liked sports, except running, track. I was in track in junior high. But then I had to quit because I had to stay after school to finish a home ec project, sewing project. And it wasn't really my fault, because the sewing machines that they had there were horrible and everybody used them, so I struggled to sew my, and the teacher picked the hardest thing that you could possibly sew for a beginner sewer, you know, like it was a sweatshirt, and sweatshirt material is, you know, stretchy, and when you are sewing stretchy material, you don't start out as a beginner, that's for sure, because it's difficult. So that's why I had to quit my track. I was so mad. Because my best friend, I had to leave her because we signed up together, you know, and none of the other girls liked us because their boyfriends liked us. And it wasn't because we were flirts or anything. Their boyfriends just liked us. I'm gonna have to do something about my cat. I'll be right back. Where are you? Anyways, little stinker's driving me crazy. He gets playful at night if I don't put him in his bed, which is his carrier cage, because his name's Mish for mischief, because he likes to get into mischief. He's a good cat for the most part, but he used to be really naughty when he was younger, as most young cats are. He's my 4th cat that I've had. I've had 2 boys and 2 girl cats. He's probably going to be my last cat, too, because it's just so expensive feeding them. It's too expensive. And he likes to chew on my plants. So I have to keep all my plants in different rooms and keep the doors closed, because if he chews on them, then some of them are poisonous. But I love plants, so what can you do? I saw on Reddit they have a group of they found that these particular cabinets that are glass fronted. It's like a bookcase, but it's got a glass, or like a china cabinet, and they're pretty inexpensive, but you can rig it up with plant lights, and that's like my dream. I want to get one of those and put my plants in there and get lights and things, and then that way I can keep it anywhere, and I don't have to worry about him getting poisoned by my plants. And the way I've got them now, they're just all around the windows, so I don't have any of those special plant lights. I don't have money to buy them. So it's kind of a pain, because this house, my dad's house, but now it's mine, it doesn't have a lot of windows. They're not very big. That's why I like older homes. This house, it is an older home, but it was built in the 70s. And it's, one of those ranch style homes. But I had a house in St. Pete, Florida. And it was a 1925 bungalow. And the thing I liked about it was it had the windows, a lot of the windows went all the way down to the ground, and almost to the ceiling, but not quite. And it just was, I loved it, because I love sunlight and being able to have a lot of natural light in my house. I don't like gloomy dungeon-like houses. Even in my bedroom, I don't like, I like a lot of light. I probably would get blackout curtains if I could afford them, but they would be white, and I'd open them up during the day. If I had money. As it is, I just have white bed sheets. The sheets that, well, my dad kept, he kept calling an ambulance all the time to go to the hospital. And so, sometimes I would try to, if I was around, because a lot of times it was like when I was sleeping and then I'd wake up and he'd be gone. But then he would come home like later that day or the next day because he hated staying in the hospital. He's such a funny guy. Anyways, they would give us the sheets because they told me they would just throw them away. Isn't that crazy? They said they would throw the sheets away if we didn't want them. So I said, sure, we'll take them. Do I have any lighter pink around? Trying to see. That's light peach, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how long I'm gonna be coloring for. Probably a while. I really like those live streams though, where people are doing something, drawing or painting or doing gel prints or making something for their junk journals and just talking. Maybe someday I'll be able to do that. I used to think that I would never be able to do a live stream because there's no way I could keep up with all the comments, but I probably could be able to do it if I'm doing something like this because first of all, not many people would tune in, so I could keep up, I think. And then I just learned from to people who actually do the live streams, and they just check every now and then to see who's saying what, and then answer and chime in. So seems like it would be fun. To do that. I was watching this movie. I don't really watch a lot of movies, but I thought, well, I might as well watch this one. And it was called Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And it had Cate Blanchett in it, and I like her, she's a good actress. But she played the part of she was a creative person, an architect. But somewhere along the way, she lost herself. And she was a mother and a wife. And then she and her husband they're from California, and then they moved to, I think, Seattle, Washington. And then they bought this big old eyesore, like Victorian type house, and you could see they're working on it in bits and pieces, but it just was it was a mess. And they had a teenage daughter, and she got along really well with her daughter, and I guess the husband was a workaholic, but they all got along pretty well. It's just, but as the movie went along, it was revealed why she was in that doesn't really go, why she was in the predicament that she was in, I'm not going to use that. She was in a slump. She became like neurotic because she wasn't creating. She wasn't doing anything with her talents and her passion. She went to school for that, and I guess she was like on the rise as an architect when they lived in California. And something really devastating happened to her. Well, two things happened that were really devastating. And I'm not going to tell you because you probably will want to go watch it, because I liked it. There's a few comments that but not many, because, you know, not every movie's somebody's gonna like it. Not every movie's gonna have rave reviews, but for the most part, people liked it. And since I'm an artist and a creative person, I could totally relate to this lady, because when you stop doing things with your art, you go crazy. You're not a happy person. And I think a lot of people would be so much better off if they could do, even if they're not creative and they don't enjoy it, they could just force themselves to, and then eventually they would enjoy it. Like playing a musical instrument, joining a choir, taking up pottery, you know, sculpture, or making pots, which is what I want to do. Because I love plants, I want to make planters really bad, big ones, because I like, well, you know, big ones and small ones. But I love plants, and if I had money and nothing to hold me back, I would go back to school and become a botanist or a herbologist. Maybe all of them. Everything. Landscape designer. That looks pretty good. I need red, but I don't know where I have some. Oh, here's some. That's not really. There's magenta. That might work. I don't know. I need a pinkish red, not a orangey red, so. Forgot these were over here. Okay. I have so many videos that I haven't posted to YouTube. It's insane. Because I intended to edit them and make them shorter and things like that, but I'm just so tired of editing, because it's always about money, you know. If you get the free editing software, first of all, you have to teach yourself how to do any of it, so then that takes time. And then if you have other things going on in your life, you forget. And then if you're using a couple of different programs, then that's another problem, because then you have to remember what did what, you know, what program you used for what, you know. It just gets to be a hassle. And somebody, I like to watch all these different people from all walks of life. Somebody said, if you don't like doing editing, then your videos are probably boring. Which that's not really, it's not that. It's like the editing software, for me anyway. I like this behind here because I can press down hard. I think I will, maybe this is gonna be dark, really dark. I want something really, really dark, because I gotta get that darkness in there on the see if I can find purplish color. I think I saw one in here somewhere. Might not be good, but never know until you try it. There's this one guy who I used to follow a few years ago. A few years ago. His name was John. And he was one of the first people I started following who did adult coloring book. And he was probably in his 20s, I'd say. But he had some type of autoimmune disease. He might have said in a video that I didn't see, that he posted maybe before I started following him, but I think maybe he might have deleted some of his videos because he would get bullied, because I remember seeing him getting upset from people being mean to him. And he probably was on the neurodivergent spectrum as well. But he lived with his parents, and they were having problems with neighbors, I guess. So they moved to a different house. And I think they moved twice in the time that I was watching him. But at one point they even moved to a different state, and I think it was one of the Carolinas. I can't remember. But his parents well, they rented out an older home, and so he was allowed to have a place on the upper floor because it was set up that way, you know, because it had a kitchenette on the upper apartment. And he was so happy. Like, I felt good for him, because I think he craved that independence, you know, being a young adult. And it's hard to live with people, even your family. It's hard to live with them. I mean, even people that you love, it's hard. But I think he wasn't watching what he was eating, because I noticed he had really junk food, and I was thinking, oh, that's not a good idea. I mean, I didn't say anything, of course, because, you know, you just can't tell people anymore what to do, or they don't take it well. But anyways, he got sick several times and kept ending up in the hospital. And then I kind of forgot about him because I hadn't heard from him in a while. I mean, I'd go to his page every now and then to see if he posted anything new. And he would just leave like short videos or messages. And then all the friends that he'd made and people that were following him we were commenting, you know, saying, "Where are you, John? You know, we miss you. Hope you're doing all right." And then somebody had researched, because they knew where he lived. I mean, where the area that he lived in. And then they found his obituary, and it just was like so really sad, because our worst fears were realized. Because I was thinking, oh, I hope he's not passed on. And he was. But it just was really sad, very sad. I have to make sure that I think I might use a marker later on, maybe. I don't know. And I've known a couple of different people that I didn't know them in real life, but I started to care about them quite deeply. Mostly on Facebook. And then they passed away. Not immediately, I'm just saying, like, I knew them over the course of, 10, 15 years. And it's always a shock. Like, I was pretty good friends with this one lady. Her name was Leah, and she was British, but she lived, I always hoped that I could meet her one day. It's so bizarre. These twittery birds, you can hear them at all times of the day, and it's like probably 2 in the morning, and I hear them now. It's annoying. Birds should be either nocturnal or, you know, daytime birds. So with her, we were in different groups together, so we became pretty good friends. But she lived in South Florida, and I was always hoping that maybe we could get her group together, because there's a few of us in Florida, and but we never did. And then she had a store, like a tourist store down there in South Florida. And she was so funny, but she didn't really like dealing with the public, because a lot of times it could be really rude. And so she liked having the store, but I think it was getting old on her. And then they went through a hurricane, and it was so much work getting their store back. To rights, and I think maybe the stress of that caused her to get cancer. She got breast cancer, and it was very fast acting. And by the time, because I had been slowly, you know, not spending as much time on Facebook as I had before. Mainly because I became my mom's caregiver, and then after that I became my dad's caregiver, so didn't really have time to go on there that much. But it was before my mom passed away. She passed away from breast cancer. And it was extremely fast acting, because I did go on there and I found out that she had it, and I was just thinking, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, Leah, and just take care of yourself, you know, and you'll pull through. But she didn't. And she was only she was probably like 5 to 6 years older than me. So she'd be probably 60, 62. Because I'm 55 and now. But she was only probably 55 when she passed. Like 5 years ago, maybe more. And it just really made me sad, because I've never really had that many people real close to me pass away, but you know, I guess that's just what happens as you get older, and your friends and family start leaving. I don't know. I guess it's kind of a morbid thing, but I'm a very practical person, so I used to hate talking about death, especially my parents, my mom's death, before she passed. Because she would talk about it, and say, I would just cut her off and say, I don't want to talk about this because it was so upsetting. I was so attached to her. I loved her so much. I still do. I think about her every day. I'll never get over her death. But that's okay, because death is a part of living. To take the good with the bad. And I have complex feelings about death and dying. So I have to face those feelings at some point. So it's a good time to, I gotta process it. Get over it. Not get over it, but accept it. And forgive myself. Try not to be so hard on myself. Forgive other people. Because we're only here for a certain amount of time. And there's people that I've decided I'm not going to talk to anymore. I still love them. It's just I don't agree with. I don't think they like me, and I don't really get them, so, and they don't get me, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. I think once I finish these petals, I'm gonna go to bed. Hopefully the video isn't too long. And I'm just kind of rambling. I'm just not really happy right now. I'm really not happy at all. Really sad. This helps. Coloring helps, and being, doing something, Trying to make something pretty. It's not really that great, but it's all right. This paper is not the best. I think it's a little too glossy. It doesn't have enough tooth to grab the pencil and build up layers, which is what you want to do when you have colored pencil. And I am mixing a bunch of different, you know, pencils, and some aren't that the best quality, but I don't know. Some of these, especially the Prismacolors, they're quite expensive, and so I like to mix them with the cheaper ones when I'm doing coloring, because the coloring isn't going to be, I'm not going to like put it in a gallery or anything like that. It's just for fun, to pass the time and for therapy. So some people use their best color best pencils on their coloring books, and I just don't. I mean, it's up to them what they do, but for me, I prefer not to do that. I will use them, but I don't like to use them all up on one project or one page. I feel like if you use a bunch of different ones, then it goes further. Might not look the best, but I'm not too bothered. I have changed so much because I used to be like the biggest perfectionist and everything had to be perfect, and now it's okay. It's really all right. Oh, looks pretty good. I think I was going to use like a nice yellow. I can hear those birds again. My sister said there's some kind of duck. I wonder if I should leave those white. Maybe. I have these. They're Jelly Roll Moonlight Sakura. Yeah. Except I guess I'm kind of messing up, but oh well. I think I'm gonna put white over it because they have those black lines. Oh well. It looks alright, I guess. I'm just not really trying all that hard. How's that look, guys? Where did I put that one? Man, I'm getting really tired now. I wanted to put yellow on the inside right here. Okay, well, I'm gonna go to bed. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.